listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and guess what? Alan Cochrane has finally returned.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, he's back, Frank.
Now, if you want to text the show, you can do it on 8 12 15. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, at Frank on the Radio. You have to snarl out those ats,
Yeah.
don't you?
Why not?
Oh, lovely hat on the print. It looks like a... It's the first time I've noticed that an hat is a bit like a Cumberland sausage.
It's so curly-whirly.
If I made a meat version
Yeah.
of our website, of our Twitter
Yeah.
handle...
Cumberland.
Is it handle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, is it?
Oh, you're so
Wow.
trendy,
Come on,
Frank.
I'll just take a couple of handshakes, excuse me. Not bad, eh?
I'll
My
high
age.
five you, or fist bump. Yes, high five. There you go.
You could hear that I-5 on the right. Yeah, our Twitter handle.
Strangest thing that ever happened. Frank just reached across and shook my hand. I liked it.
It's brilliant. And if I made a meat version, I could use a Cumberland the at would already be there. I could buy.
Boys.
I could buy. I don't have to have it bespoke. I could get my at off the peg.
Yeah.
Do you ever think...
Oh, by the way, you can email us as well
Oh,
on
yeah.
the Absolute Radio
On the email
website.
thingy.
But we don't have a meat version of
It
that.
is, you're right, it's very fine-looking, the at, design-wise, isn't it? And that's fortunate, because who knew it was going to be such an integral part of our lives?
Oh, I mean, where would we be?
Yeah.
But I sometimes look at it and I think, where did you get that at? Where did you get that at?
Yes, no, we got it.
Yeah. No, I was repeating this the next line.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. There's a bit on the bottom. I've got I've got one of those Apple smartphones,
Oh, yes.
and when you're doing the keyboard thing, there's a globe of the world appears. Have you know what I mean?
Where's that, then?
It's in a little square on the bottom, and it's a globe. It's a sort of see-through globe, like the scaffolding of the world. Do you know what I mean?
No, do you know that, Al?
No. I don't know.
I'll show it you in a
That's
minute.
just on your phone.
No.
Oh, maybe he's got like an update.
Because he got it from a man
Well,
online.
I don't know what this phone is.
Dear my friend, I'm trying to get these telephones out the country. He got one of those.
No, it's a real thing. I can't do it now. It doesn't seem right. I'm in the middle of a radio show. But yeah, please help me. Anyone out there?
Okay.
8 12 15. On the bottom of my smartphone keyboard, there's a key that's just got a globe on it, and it's sort of open plan. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like it might have something to do with Interpol.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that kind of look.
Or
to
is it the direct dial Interpol button?
I wonder if it is. I wonder if if I was attacked, I could call Interpol.
Now, look, what we haven't discussed is Alan's
there's loads of stuff. haven't there?
fabulous tan.
We got bogged down with Cumberland sausages representing the at
Got
symbol.
Bob down.
didn't we?
He'll be in at about 10:30.
Frank, what about the tan of the man? I mean, it's absolutely
nice.
sensational.
Oh, that's pleasing to me because I felt. I mean,
Well, it's pleasing to me.
I've been away for a month, but I felt like my tan was packing and leaving during the last week of my holiday, so I'm actually delighted.
It's a gentle, golden... You know what it
Gentle.
reminds...
Been away a month.
It reminds me of... You know what he looks like, Frank? Stop looking at the phone for the globe. you know, I saw you doing that. You know what he
I wanna
looks
see the
like?
what does he look like? He looks nice.
No, it's
Thanks,
like
Frank.
he's one of Stefan Edberg's friends, cheering him on in Friends and Family box
Oh,
at
that'd be
Wimbledon.
good. Just for the
like a
free kit.
Swedish tennis player's friend.
I'd love that.
I'm surprised because Al's been in France for a month. Is
Indeed.
that right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
For a month, isn't
A
it?
month, indeed.
Princess Margaret in Fouquet. But he has come back with a lovely tan, which surprises me. Why didn't you wear that burkini you bought just before you went
I
away?
don't know. Something just put me off wearing it. I don't know what that is.
I thought you'd have had that on and you'd have come back looking quite,
Exactly the same.
gothic, but no. It really looks quite handsome, I'll be honest with you.
Thanks.
Oh, quite.
Well, okay, well, I'm trying to
absolutely
tone it down a
staggering.
bit. You know, it's still a boys' thing. No, we would send you a picture, but I find tans don't travel very well.
Oh.
You know what I found you're a bit like with him this morning?
Go on.
I don't know. It's quite sweet, actually. I think you're quite giggly and flirty around him because he looks so nice. All of us are in this room. You know when someone comes back and they're a bit of an exciting prospect? They're very brown, exotic, they've been away,
Yes.
man of mystery. None of us quite know how to handle him this morning.
It reminds me a bit of when, if you have like a canary or some sort of exotic bird like that and it escapes,
Yeah.
the garden birds are horrified by this colourful, garish thing, and I believe they tear them to pieces.
Well, Frank, I know what the globe button does. Jamie Wood has texted us.
Well, let's hear some music first, because I love the idea of turning the globe button into a teaser, a cliffhanger.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
As I put my headphones on then, I let go of the right-hand one, and it sort of hit me quite hard in the side of the face. It's got that sort of training glove. You know
Yes.
those old
Oh, yeah.
pictures of Muhammad Ali, you see, when he's got those black black training gloves. It's like that. It might have dislocated my jaw.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Anyway,
Don't
we've
think it
had
has.
Looking a
some...
bit Jeff Boycott.
Al, haven't we had some... We've had a lot of texts in, haven't
Yeah, I
we?
mean, it's... early
We were
in my
talking
first
about the
show
mystery globe.
Yeah, you know,
on
we've
my
talked before about how
smartphone.
you've lit up the switchboard.
Oh, yeah.
You've veritably lit up the switchboard with your question, what's this globe button on my phone?
Yeah.
I don't think I've got one. We've had some... I think some of these are lies, but...
Hello.
John Hartwood...
Is that the sort of thing your radio presenters say about, about the
some of these
reader's
are
text?
Yeah. Frank, the globe on your phone opens the keyboards for all languages of the world.
Does it?
No, I think it's a lie.
No, it's true.
No.
It's a language thing.
So if
No.
I type in something in English, it'll translate it. It's like that thing, the TARDIS.
Could have done with that last
You know
month
when
in
you-
No,
France.
Al,
when
it's
you get off
true.
the TARDIS and go onto an alien planet, they can still... You can hear them in English and they can hear you in their
Oh.
thing. That's why... Yeah.
Jamie's
Is it a
texted
Doctor
us,
Who
the
button?
globe button is so you can change the keyboard language. Voila, he says.
Oh, voila, I get.
When
you
say
picked up the
change-
lingo while you were over there.
When
Yeah.
you change the language...
Yes.
Yeah,
See, I'm
so
gonna
it's
be
because
frightened.
you get accents and...
Oh, yeah, umlauts.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Arrests.
However, Budgie from Beaconsfield has said, a globe is a poor description. It's more like an energy-saving light bulb.
Do you think so? I think it's
I've never
like
seen it. I
a
don't know
globe of the world drawn. If one featured in the opening titles of the Bionic Man, it's got that sort of see-through network type feel to it.
Okay. Well, 274, Frank, it's for emojis and different language keyboards.
See, that's what. See, Sarah, who works for us, said, "Oh, the reason it doesn't work is because you haven't got an emoji keyboard." Suggesting, because of my age. And then the producer said to me, "You know those emojis? It's like those faces." Yes.
Did she really say that
She
to
did
you?
say that.
did, it was tense.
She started telling me what an emoji
tense.
was. I mean,
I can't
for a man
believe
who's
that
already
happened.
used the phrase Twitter handle, have I not established my online credentials?
Well, no, I'm afraid someone's written in about the Twitter handler and says Frank handle comes from CB Radio, as
that's-
old as
yeah.
the hills.
Well, that is
Oh.
true,
Clive.
of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just as you were feeling trendy
No,
and young.
I wouldn't say okay, I'd say that's a big 10-10. Oh, man. So, CB.
Oh, yeah.
I was once a child. Look at the people next door when I was a kid had got this enormous CB mast. I mean, it was like 20 feet in the garden. It was a piece of wood with a cable coming off the top of it. And I saw a man came round from the council to clean the windows or something. And he hit it with his ladder and the cable come off it. Okay. So a bit later the woman of the house came out and said, You've broken our CB cable. He said, no, I haven't touched it. And I'd watched the whole thing from my window. And that was the moment when I should have gone, excuse me, but I watched that and you did break it. But instead I just sat there because I thought he might sort of wait outside my house and kill me.
And then you did not speak up, Frank.
I didn't speak up, and yes, we all know that's what went wrong with so many areas of the world in the past. Nevertheless, that little anecdote from my life, I think, will be available as an individual podcast on the Absolute Radio website. We call it the Cable Guy if you're looking for it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
It was Kat's birthday this week, by the way.
Well, I know. I got her a gift.
Oh, you did, yes.
Do you think it was a good choice?
It was it running trousers?
Well, they weren't just any running trousers.
I don't know.
Don't make it sound like some Wallace and Gromit present.
I'm sorry.
Good one.
Stella McCartney.
Stella McCartney running trousers, fantastic.
Running trousers. Those sort of
That's
leggings.
trousers,
workout
a word.
Leggings.
You don't get running trousers, do you?
Tracksuit bottoms. Just you got some Lonsdale from Sports Direct.
He's making them sound like something you would buy at the back of the Sunday Express magazine.
The elasticated one. Tracksuit bottoms, would you call those trousers?
No.
They'd be officially
Pants.
class.
I would call them pants.
Get out.
Workout pants. With Stella
Not doing
McCartney around the
ever
waistband.
to say pants on this show.
Anyway, how was your...
I've been in shorts all week this week, by the way. It's been a hot one in London. Have you been in shorts for a month? I didn't shave. I didn't shave for a week, and I just wore shorts. I left the shirt off when I was around the house.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice
I had a look. My look was what I would describe as Ben Gunn chic. Do you know Ben Gunn? He's the castaway from Desert Island.
Oh, yes, I know.
Who asked for bread and cheese. That was the look I was after. Slightly...
Sounds a bit more Charles Bronson.
I had a weird thing.
Inmate, not actor.
Can I ask you about this? I mean, this might be a very bad sign that is some sort of great portent for my oncoming death. But yesterday I weighed myself, and I was 12 stone, 1.5 pounds.
Okay.
Just write that down, sir.
12 stone, 1.5 pounds, okay.
What do you think, Al? Because you know about weight.
Well, hold on, I haven't finished yet.
Oh, okay.
This morning I weighed myself on the same scales, in the same place. I was 12 stone, 5 3/4 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But that's more. I gained more than 4 pounds in 24 hours.
It's bloating, love.
Yeah, it's...
What do you mean?
It's about the time of day, isn't it?
But bloating is air, isn't it? That doesn't weigh
Water.
anything.
No, it's you're retaining water.
Oh, God, am I?
Yeah. You know that sloshing that we talked about a long time
Oh,
ago?
yeah.
I mean,
Am I
you weren't
just
doing that
full?
at the same time,
I
were
suppose
you?
you reach an age where you're just full.
Yeah, you're full.
But it's
Found it
fine.
absolutely bizarre gaining more than 4 pounds
No,
overnight.
you didn't really gain
Well,
that
you can't,
overnight. You
because
just-
as a dietitian once said to a friend of mine, well, no one ever put on weight from one meal.
Mhm.
What happens is what you do the next day, you see. So you just have to be very careful today.
Oh, well, I've already had one of the Cockerell's French sweets. What are they called?
Coquelots.
I've already had a coquelot.
Oh, sorry, coquelicot.
I've had a coquelicot, yes,
Yeah.
this morning.
I love that he brought back themed gifts.
Have you tasted the coquelicots?
No, I'm about to, though.
I'm going to try one.
If you had, say, a piece of celery in the same Tupperware case as a strawberry, not touching, but maybe there was some spores, that's what it tasted like.
Oh, okay.
There was a
Biscuits
hint
from
of-
Normandy. and
Where
I
did you
saw.
get them out? Was it on the hypermarché?
Yeah, somewhere on our travels.
I don't think, I might wonder if you can get these online. That wasn't my first thought.
That's a
But
shame.
do try one.
Okay.
To me, it's an achievement because this represents joining in with what normal people do when
No.
they go away to work. When they go away on their holidays and they come back and they've brought the work, like some biscuits. That's joining in. I've
Yeah.
never done this
No, I agree
before.
with that. It was lovely. I'm glad you did it. If you'd have bought a enclosed test tube with 7 or 8 different coloured layers of sand,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been over the moon.
Oh, Isle of Wight styly.
Absolutely over the moon. But
I had one as well. It burst in the boot of the car. That's sad, isn't it?
instead, it was a coquelot, which
Coquelicot.
yes,
Bless you.
is not very nice. But you know, we're all different.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I'll give you a clue what I bought, Kath. Like green pinstripe with red lining.
Green pinstripe
Oh,
Yeah.
with red lining.
I think I've already got it.
Go on.
I think I've already got it, but
Go
I
on.
think it'll
Go on.
spoil it if I get it straight away.
No, go on.
Oh, go on.
Watermelon.
It was a watermelon, yeah,
you
well
go.
done.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got that.
I actually bought her a watermelon for her birthday.
That's nice.
Did you?
It
you
is
get
lovely,
something
though,
else
isn't
there?
it?
She does love a watermelon.
Well, people that love watermelon, I think. So if you get them a watermelon, then you've
Well,
won.
like a
Well done.
strawberry, but I want something else.
Well, the thing is about if I'd got her a straw, I think the something about a watermelon is they're quite heavy.
You carried a watermelon,
So
Frank.
There's been
I
a burden,
carried it.
yeah.
So it's sort of love based on calories used up.
Yes.
I shouldn't have swallowed it like a lozenge before I went to bed last night.
Like a cocklicot.
No, like I was taking a cocklicot. Anyway,
For new listeners, this is a weird link already, yeah.
I know.
Can I just say, if you're looking to get her another present, she did say to me in passing, she said, I think I might get my hair cut. Who's that bloke you go to? I said, what, that bloke? The bloke who does Alexa Chung and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley as well. It's George Northwood.
Yeah,
She went, I might go and see him. Can I go now? I said, it doesn't really work like that.
No. Well, Kat's got what her sister calls peanut butter hair, which she's never really sorted out. So I avoid anything like that, though. You're safe a bit with the watermelon. Good for the forearm muscles as well.
Oh, yeah. Your grip training.
I thought if I went running carrying 2 watermelons, that would be a brilliant workout. I mean, I'd
That'd be
need a
amazing.
good sports bra.
Yeah.
Now you know. Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, but it would really. It's not often you can do this gesture without being sexist, but it really would work the upper body, carrying a couple of let's call them WMs.
Okay.
Any particular reason for that?
Well,
Are you trying to get your weight down
I'm
to
trying to
12
save
stone,
time.
1.5 pounds?
I am.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that was it. It was just flashed by me, that weight.
Yeah.
It's just there for one day, and the next day it was gone.
But on your
I'm a bit
watermelon
worried about that.
workout,
I'm
you'll be
thinking
back to it in no
something
time.
must have grown in me that weighs 4 pounds.
How much
overnight.
watermelon did you eat yesterday? Was it that?
Oh, do you think that's what it was, Al?
Yeah, he's had about 3.5 pounds worth of
Yeah, but even so,
WM.
no, it's ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. I am also.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I did this week. I went back. Have you ever done this? Go back to somewhere you used to live.
Oh,
Yes.
I've done that.
I went back to the house that I lived, the flat that I lived in with David Baddiel.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
But you're already adults then, so it's not like a childhood flat that you...
No, but it was a special time.
Oh, right.
you
Nice.
know,
Yeah.
Nice.
because
A lot of fine work created there as well.
and also, you know, I mean, living with a friend.
Yeah.
it's easier going.
Is
I
it?
think.
It is. I think there's too much. You know, there's a lot of emotional stress
Yes.
on a when you're in a proper physical relationship. Should we call it that?
Yeah.
You could do.
So I look back and it's a very laid back time.
Uh-huh.
When Dave said he was leaving, he offered me the flat. He offered to sell it to me so I could.
Oh,
you know,
did he?
Yeah. Too many memories.
Oh.
But there's a well-known light entertainment figure lives there now. I don't
Is
know if I
that
should
right?
name him. Yeah.
Okay. Will you tell us off air?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
But I went into my old
Sorry for
bedroom,
that.
which was quite special.
Do I like him?
Oh, it was John Coleshaw.
Okay.
Oh.
And I went into it, my old bedroom was there, and it was really weird. Partly because there was a grey velvet jacket hanging on a coat hanger. And I thought that wouldn't have happened in my day. Not the way it collects the lint.
No.
But yeah, so John... And there's
And
a bit...
did you say, did you think like what he'd done with the place?
Well, it's whenever you go back anywhere, if it was smaller than I remembered, it's always the way,
Isn't
isn't
it always the way?
It's odd. Whereas when you see an ex, they're often bigger than
That's a
you
good point, yeah.
remember them. But no, it was much neater than our day. And there was a weird bit where we sat on the sofa and he did an impression of David Baddiel, and I thought, this is just too weird now. It's quite a good impression, though.
Oh, yeah. You can do that.
Well, he's good at those.
He's good at
The
that.
shtick,
I
I'd
mean,
say.
come on.
That's his forte, if you ask me.
Ah.
Coleshaw. I mean, I don't want to narrow him down, but to me, that's what he does best.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So, Yes, so it was very weird going back to my old home. Mm-hmm.
So had he just invited you in? Did he call you up?
I did this exclusive iPlayer show where I interview people about what they've been watching on telly.
It's good.
Don't act like I'm on your chat show and I don't know what's going on in your life.
Okay, well, so I was interviewing him about his TV likes. Nice chap, though.
And he said, "Come round to your
nice
old
chap,
flat."
nice flat." Yeah, it was very weird. I had to check the numbers as well to work out which one it was. I couldn't remember.
And did he know that he was living in your old gaff?
Oh yeah, I bored him to death with stories of the old days. Back when Dave used to wear a slightly too short and not as securely fastened as it could be toweling dressing gown in the morning. But I mean, he's got all new furniture, so he wasn't worried about it.
Good.
Oh, that's fine.
Can I ask a question, by the way,
Sure.
about that? You know those dressing gowns that are made of toweling material?
Yeah.
I believe they're called toweling robes.
Yeah, well, it's the idea that you don't have to dry yourself, that you get out to the show and you put that on, and then it just...
That's what I do.
It absorbs. So there's no robbing with the towel. You just put that on, and then when you take it off, it takes the moisture with it.
Wow. Sorry, Al.
I'll be honest, I never thought that was the idea. I thought you dried and then you put the robe on to
But then why is it toweling?
Good question.
I have never dried in my life. Okay?
We're not talking about...
That's
I
next
can-
week's promo.
If this was
sorted.
if this was a conversation about washing up, I could have believed that. But
what I'm
really,
saying-
you've never dried yourself with a towel.
I would get it. I don't like... I'm not going to get some
Nobody
towel...
likes drying.
Oh, I do. With a really scratchy towel. I like that
no.
kind of
Those
take a
old
layer
towel.
of skin off.
I
Careful.
bet Alan does that quite macho thing of taking the towel by both hands and giving his back a little rub
And
down
going,
side to
going
side.
underneath with it as well.
I do
Well,
that.
hold
yeah,
on
yeah.
now.
We have
When-
to get a new towel every week. That's part of the trouble with that.
It's better than washing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I step out. I mean, often I have some oils on me as well. So
Yeah.
I step out.
She's a mechanic, you know that.
No, I want to keep them intact, the
Part-time.
oils,
Quick
particularly if
fix.
I've had a bath.
Yeah.
So I step out straight into the toweling robe.
And then, how long does it take for the toweling robe to absorb all of the
I
moisture?
would say 4 to 5 hours. I'm
So
often-
you're in the robe
As
for
long as
5
that.
hours?
I'm there for a long
because of the
time.
oils.
No, sometimes I would say, realistically, probably only 14 minutes, I'd say, to 16.
Do you have a stopwatch in the house? Could we pick this up next
But
week?
that's not practical as a morning activity, is it?
We'll just stay in the robe until you leave the house.
Yeah, but I don't get up 5 hours before I leave the house.
Excellent.
Oh, I'd never have noticed.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, it's interesting because it only just struck me this week. I thought, am I using this to its full capacity? When as I did as you do, I dried and then I basically dried with a towel and then I wore a towel. Ridiculous.
Well, another thing that seems to be coming to the fore is that I noticed on holiday my daughter has a towel poncho with a hood. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
she's been in the sea or like in the swimming pool or whatever, we were just putting the poncho over her, and then she was walking around campsites and whatever. And I said to my wife, "I'd like one of those." Next campsite we're at, I saw an adult with a towel poncho with a hood, like a surf brand.
Yeah.
And I went, "Got to get in on that." I think it might be the end of the dressing gown, the terry towel dressing gown.
Just don't be
Got a
ridiculous.
poncho.
I think the dressing gown's a stayer.
Do you?
Yeah, that's my view.
I like the look of one of those. I want one for an adult.
Something else I did this week was, speaking of children, as you were, the great thing about having kids, don't you find, is that you can introduce them to things that everyone else in the world knows about.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I introduced Buzz to a game this week, and he was blown away by it. It was like I'd shown him the wheel, to a
Oh, what was it?
heads or tails.
Oh, excellent game.
He was so... I'd forgotten that you could get that keen.
Yeah?
We weren't playing for anything,
No.
just the joy of calling correctly.
Yeah?
And like, if you got it wrong, you'd go, they're playing heads and tails. And then then I picked up a coaster, and I said, right, shiny or cork, and I threw that in the air. And then we were off. He picked up a newspaper and he said, he had a look at it, he said, lady or footballer. And threw it in the air. I mean, it didn't quite land correctly.
No,
That's a choice so many of us
But
have
what
had
about
over the
this?
years.
I know I know. I once managed to combine the two, but that is another story.
Well,
But anyway, what a cigarette that was afterwards. Talking about formations. But I started playing
quite
with him all these
distracted with the memory there.
Yeah,
oh, no,
these-
it's because of
exactly.
Lady or Footballer,
For
which
a
is going to be...
moment.
Lady or Footballer is going to be volume 3 of the autobiography.
So he came up with a variation on this because first of all he asked me why do you say tails,
Yeah.
and I just said just play it.
I love that side to you.
Yeah, but then what was marvellous is he was looking then for other things to do it with. You know my Michael Winner ball.
Oh, I do.
I've got a Michael Winner ball, and if you throw it hard enough against the wall, his voice says, "Calm down, dear. Calm down, dear." So it's a dead man's voice in an orb.
perfect.
And he went and got that and said, like, voice or no voice, and threw it against the wall. And you had to guess from the velocity whether Winner would speak or not.
That sounds fun.
Oh, man, that is... I tell you, there's so many variations on Heads or Tails. I feel I can exploit this fiscally.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner, by the way, on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and Alan Cochrane's back. Lovely. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter, Cumberland Sausage Frank on the radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. If you just tuned in, I was pointing out that the @ that we all use in, @ Frank on the radio really does look like a Cumberland sausage to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the I in radio
Or
is also
it could be a
easy to make
tadpole.
out of
It could be a
sausages.
tadpole doing yoga.
I suppose.
Tadpole doing yoga, I know, it's serious.
Well, I've only just got back off my holidays, and I've avoided a lot of news, not on purpose. Just
I know
there
what you
wasn't a lot of phone signal in bits of France that we were in, and
Quite nice
I
to
didn't
have a little
much.
break, isn't it?
I enjoyed it, but I've returned to what I'm going to call Traingate. Jeremy Corbyn has apparently complained that there are no seats on trains, and then Richard Branson has said, well, there was seats on this. Here's some footage of you sitting down and then going and doing your little film on the floor and then going back to your seat.
I suspect they did call it your little film as well.
Exactly.
I think that's exactly what it was, Al.
And
Well, that's
now
the problem,
Jeremy
isn't it?
Corbyn said
Go on.
that's my privacy. You can't do that. And actually, I wanted to sit with my wife. He said that he did have a ticket, but
Oh,
he
we
wanted
all
to
want to sit with your wife, love, but, you know.
Well, depends how long you've been together.
no, I meant we all want to sit with Jeremy
just had
Corbyn's
5
wife.
weeks with mine, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I love my partner very much, but I think we'd both jump at the chance to sit separately on a train for 2 or 3 hours just to have, some me time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think his wife is 20 years his junior, and I think I've been out with younger women, and I think there is an element of tight leash that you fall into. 'cause
Right.
Oh, I see.
Becomes-
Needs must.
One becomes very insecure.
Yeah.
I love that they wanted to sit together, though. It's
nice.
Wanted to sit together on the London to Glasgow. It's not like the Orient Express or anything, but they seem
I
to
think
have
they were
booked a ticket for
prepping.
2.
They were prepping his speech or something like that.
Oh, they prep their speeches together. Oh,
that's cute.
I think she sort of the way that
I think she's got one of those rubbers, white and blue.
I hope so. No, white and red.
He was asked about it afterwards. One thing I liked was that he referred to it. Did you see him at the press conference afterwards? Because he got quite angry
He
because
did
they
get
wouldn't
angry.
stop going on about
He's
it.
got angrier.
He does get.
He's very
He's an angry
genial.
man.
Before he became leader, he was genial.
You can be an angry young man. You've got to be a calm old man. It's not a good look.
Well,
He said vestibule, which I liked.
oh yeah. Is that what he said?
Excellent.
He said, I was seated in the vestibule.
That's fabulous.
It was so Judge Pickles.
I don't think I've heard that used publicly since My Dingaling by Chuck Berry. When he talks about leaving school and he says, I stopped off in the vestibule. And I remember as a kid thinking, what is that? And there was no Google in them days,
No,
obviously.
Just had to ask loads of people. didn't
Yeah,
you?
Now,
I mean, the
that-
books were still handwritten.
It doesn't look good for him, though, because you know that's one of the signs of lying. If someone starts using overly formal language in their defence.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm just saying
I have to
vestibule.
remember that. Yeah,
Vestibule. Okay?
okay.
And then the Sky News reporter got in trouble because he asked him about it. Did you see him snap
I
at him?
did, yeah. He refused to answer, and then he answered. What I like about Jeremy Corbyn, though, is, you know, one thing that I'd say my guilty pleasure is, you know, when people are asked, celebrities get asked about their guilty pleasure, it's always stuff like Boney M. Mine is Cold War nostalgia. I really miss the Cold War.
Yes.
And I feel that Jeremy's reintroduced a sort of Politburo feel to it. I feel like, here we are now being light-hearted about him. I wouldn't be astonished if I was bundled into a jalopy in a couple of days' time by some of his aides. He's got that kind of feel. And I kind of like that, because I think the right wing have monopolised the sort of menacing henchman thing for too long in this country.
I think you're right. He's the sort. We will end up. If you knew him and you fell out with him, you would meet your maker by means of an umbrella with a poison tip, perhaps.
I think Kath would be standing in Trafalgar Square holding a big picture of me, and I'd be classed as one of the missing. I think he's got. He didn't have that. Also, I would lay £1,000 that he rolls his own cigarettes. I can smell them just off the telly.
Yes.
Yeah. But so I think he has been a breath of certainly a breath of tobacco. But I like the bit of. The sort of Russianness about him.
And slightly cantankerous.
You know, in the old days, if you're even slightly left-wing, some people would say, well, why don't you go back to Russia then? And I think he'd be happy there. You know, all those cornfields and ballet in the evening.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Do you quite like, though, talking of Corbyn and, you know, the whole train thing, you were saying, you know, he's quite angry.
Mr. Corbyn!
I find his anger quite refreshing, though, as well. Because he's not very Andy Burnham, is he? He's not one of these, you know, ones in a nice suit who's all had the life spun out of him. And I quite like that about him. He's a normal man.
No, but, you know, he gets into this controversy and 2 days later, Richard Branson's involved in a serious bicycle crash.
I do hope he's okay. Yeah.
But, it is a bit umbrella in the leg. But hey.
326 has texted, OMG, you guys, stop Jezza bashing. Angry emoji face.
It started. It started.
326 seems
We're
to
not
be quite
Jezza
pro
bashing.
Jezza.
Look, you know, he's in the public eye. They all have to take their turn, I'm afraid.
Agreed. I mean, he
We've
took
got to
his
be
turn
fair
on the
on
floor,
this
didn't he?
show.
I mean, I know he's man of the people, and that's lovely.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you know, I remember being poor. It's not that long ago. And if somebody had offered me first class, I wouldn't have said, no, I won't. Thank you very much. I think that's wrong. And then took a photo of me on the floor. The photo would have been of me in first class holding up a plastic glass of champagne.
I agree.
Going, come on! Why?
He's sort of done it in reverse. I've been on overcrowded trains, and when I see people sat on the floor, I always think, I'm going to try and blag my way into first class, because this train's so busy that if I sit in first class and look a bit like I'm meant to be there, and then they go, can you get into... I can then go, well, there isn't any seats in standard, is there? And I might get away with it.
Well,
But he's done the reverse. He's seen empty seats in first class and thought, I'm going on the floor with those people.
No,
Weird.
I think that he's... I think he slightly missed that, what your ordinary bloke would do. I mean, I've got to say, Pope Francis...
But he can't do that.
Pope Francis has got a bit of the same, you know. Pope Francis says, I just have an ordinary car.
At Pontifex, as I call it.
I'll have a bottle green
That's his
G
Twitter
registration Hillman Imp instead of the the saloon. I think it's a tempting thing to do, you know. If you get you're doing well, you want people to not hate you for doing well, so you want to look like you're doing less well.
Okay, so just to get this clear,
Well,
you think...
can you imagine
Jeremy
what they'd
Corbyn
have said to
thinks
him
he's
if he'd have
doing
had
well?
those first
He's doing
class
well. He's
tickets?
got power and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we know exactly how well he's doing because his salary was released the other day.
Yeah, but apart from that, he's the leader of the Labour Party. It's, you know, it's pretty good. On the
138 grand, FYI.
Is that right?
That's what he earns. £600,000 house. These are all official figures.
Well, good on him. I think it's a, you know, he's earning it. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm a fan, as you know. Sorry,
So I think you're
putting it
all
out there.
worried now because you're thinking, oh, God. I mean, you ride a bike. I don't know how they're going to get me. You ride a horse, that's going to be shot from under you, like in a cowboy film.
Shot from under you.
But this is what I mean, see, we used to worry about right-wing figures like this. I think it's about time things have balanced up a bit.
Yeah.
God bless him. That's the equality we were after. Fear on
but
both
what
sides.
he did wasn't that bad, Jezza. I would say he's an exaggerator rather than a criminale, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think, you know,
I think doing the
Dickie's
video
gone a
was the
bit
mistake.
mad. I think the CCTV releasing the footage, a little bit dodgy, that.
Do you think?
Well, you're not allowed.
Really?
He's in trouble now. Well, you're meant to only release it to the police, aren't you? Not allowed. That's flouting various privacy laws.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's gone a bit
Well, how
crime
did-
watch in this
How
section.
did they get Mary Bale then when she put the cat in the wheelie bin? Was that
think she was
via
on a
the
train.
police?
That's criminal.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Wow.
It's criminal damage.
Just a bit of fun, wasn't it? I mean, we get so serious nowadays about things.
You know, we talked earlier about the switchboard lighting up. I think
it?
might be able to.
Already time
The cat is
to
perfectly
say
safe.
Mary Bale was innocent.
No, I don't think it was
Really?
Mary Bale. Mary Bale, I think you'll
I
find
said
was
Mary Bale.
Yeah, no, you said Mary
I
Bell,
didn't.
who I believe was a
Can
child
you text
murderer.
in? I said
Are you
Bale.
two okay? Has it been like this all the time I've been away?
Excuse me, I
It's
said
been like
Bale.
George and Milton. Did Emily say Bell or Bale?
I said Bale. I have a North London twang. I said Bale.
12:15.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Did ye see, whilst we're in political corner, I'd like to discuss Nigel Farage, well there's only one, Nigel, who went over to the Trump rally this week. Did you see that?
I did see that. It was, in a way, marvellous.
Sans tash.
Yeah, Sans Union Jack shoes.
I'm
Yeah.
slightly sad about the removal of the tash. That was something that I enjoyed periodically while I was
Well,
away.
I was hoping that he would present Donald Trump with some stars and stripes shoes.
Yes.
He may have. That
Yeah.
would have been the perfect gift, wouldn't it?
Yes.
If Farage could afford... I don't know if Farage got any money.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in the city,
He was
wasn't he?
in the city.
Yeah, he'd be all right.
He's a millionaire.
Is he?
Yeah.
A large percentage of the crowd apparently had no idea who he was.
No, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I've done
They
gigs
just
like
thought
that.
he was a man in a very, very bad suit.
Well,
Did you see the
I've done
suit?
gigs like that.
What about the suit? I realise that. I appreciate that's not the most important thing, but for me,
No,
I mean, it's not often you see the old Pebble Mill at one being recycled.
but I think politicians often wear terrible suits. I mean, that's
Not
why,
like that, Frank.
That's why they invented the podium.
yes.
Isn't it? So
No,
you
not
got somewhere
anymore,
to
because they
hide.
have all wardrobe advisors
Well, I
and things
mean,
now, the Andy
Barack
Burnham ones.
Barack Obama looks good.
Good.
Only wears blue and black.
Something like a phenomenon. I've never seen anything like it.
Jeremy Corbyn and the guy he's up against, Owen...
Smith
No. Oh, God. that's
Oh,
bad,
Owen.
isn't it?
Oh, this is terrible. Owen Jones.
Jones.
No, I don't
Just
think
made it
so.
up. He went to my
think it is
university. I think it is Owen Smith.
Anyway, him and...
You've got a thing with names today. You
Yeah, what
contradict
is
people that
it?
are in the right.
Him and Corbyn are, they're both doing that East European Parliament thing of not wearing a tie.
Yes.
You know that? You look like you've just been driving the bus and then you've come in. So they do. I hope that's not going to be what happens in the Houses of
I
Parliament.
think it might.
Oh, I
Short
hope
sleeve
not.
shirts as well.
No, I
Underneath
don't.
suit
And
jackets.
fights. That's the other thing. of course. East European well, foreign parliaments in general, whenever you see a clip on the news, there's a proper argy-bargy
Good fun.
punching fight.
Some of my favourite clips.
Yeah. But no, I don't want that to happen here.
No. Well, he did say... So how did you see any of his performance?
I did. I saw I saw the speech, Jeremy Nigel, Nigel and Jeremy. It's like being in Flashman.
Yeah. Owen. Eddie Smith.
But Nigel,
You're right.
I think he's doing. I don't know if you did this at school, but people used to hang around with a much less attractive mate, so that if you went out together, you'd get the first pick. I know, because I was the less.
Really do that?
I was the less attractive mate.
I've just said to people, really do that. Does that mean if you have to ask, you were the less attractive mate? Maybe I was. This is terrible news.
No, it's not terrible news, because I was a less attractive mate, and they don't go too far. You're less attractive. They don't go for absolute ogre. Otherwise, the woman that
That's
you
too
fancy,
obvious.
well, her mate will say, "Oh, look, I like you, Lindsay," but enough is enough. So you want someone who's bearable for a night at least.
Do you think that's why I'm bearable? Oh my God.
Well, that's what I think I was in there on the bearable ticky. But I think he's doing a similar thing, because if he hangs around with Donald Trump, he doesn't seem too bad. It's the first time I've ever seen Nigel Farage and thought, he's not that bad. He's next to Trump.
His skin tone's quite normal.
It's it's just that
hair's not bad.
You think, I don't find him as horrible as Trump. So I think it's a good. I think I would call it. It's the Mussolini approach to public popularity. You find someone who's madder and more dislikable than you, and then you get photographed with them, and suddenly you don't seem too bad. Anyway, again, thank you for being my co-hosts.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Do you think he's somebody that you would choose to endorse your brand now? Because you see, I know they, essentially the vote was victorious, but in this country he's seen as someone who I think is a bit synonymous with failure and
I don't think
running
that's
away
true.
and escape.
I don't think his people think that.
No, I think they think.
Whose people?
Farage's.
What people? He's an unemployed man on his own.
No,
he hasn't got
but
any people.
I think he's still got
Don't
people.
make me feel sorry for him.
I think he's
Well,
got...
this is what I don't understand. Does no one really? Does Donald Trump? Do you think he's lied and said, because he kept saying he's emerged triumphant, he's this great character, he's a winner. But he doesn't do anything now.
I think that's his job will be supporting horrible people in there. He's going to be like...
Well, we've all got to do it, darling.
Yeah.
That's not true.
He's going to be like the Minions.
Oh, yeah.
He'll seek out some evildoer and then worship them.
He's got a bit of that in him, I could see that.
Yeah. I wish he'd appear with just like a pair of goggles on, like with one big eye.
Oh, Nigel Farage is a minion. That's
Well, he is.
made my day.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you think he got paid to go there?
Oh, I would imagine so.
I don't know. It could be one of those, like, it's a hazy
Well,
bit
they
in
would have
between,
paid for
isn't
his flight.
You
He would not have balked at first class, I don't think.
Oh, not have balked at it, I suspect. He would have insisted on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you he got a few quid. I bet he got a
reckon?
sort of after dinner speaking.
it? His corporate
Well, you know what he
fee.
would have got? 2 nights at that Scottish hotel that
Oh, the
Trump
golf
owns.
one.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He would have been paid in contra.
Contra.
Contra, nice, yeah.
Yes.
I just think, I'm not sure travelling to hot countries is for Farage. He's a man whose face gets sweaty in the Midlands of the UK.
I didn't
Yet he
think...
went to America.
There was one thing I thought...
Where was he?
Farage-
Mississippi? No.
Somewhere like that.
I
Minnesota,
don't know.
one of the minis. One of the minions.
Isn't the one thing...
Oh, he only goes to places beginning with min. That's all starting, Frank.
Oh, I can't believe you. No, but isn't one thing that he really doesn't like abroad?
Yeah.
He's anti-abroad. I don't think he's going to become the sort of flip side of Tony Blair touring. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't end up doing talk radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so talk radio.
Yeah, that's what he'll be doing. He'll be on...
What about when he
Give it
said,
time.
I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton if you paid me?
That's
Yeah.
a crime, isn't it? To pay people to vote. I mean, straight away.
Is it a crime? Also,
think
I
that
don't
is
think
a
he's
crime.
legible to
Already,
vote.
No.
it is a bit whatever happened to the phrase, if you paid me. I mean, who says that anymore?
I know, I like that.
I mean, it's up there with vestibule, surely. I wouldn't do that if you paid me.
It's like when people say, I've heard of blah, 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 but this is ridiculous. It's one of those phrases.
Or you've got another think coming. Is it thing? Think? What is
Yeah,
that?
I've never really quite got that.
I think it's thing, isn't it? But I like the idea.
I thought it was think.
I like
thought
the
it was
idea
think.
of you
We
got
thought
another
it was
think.
thing. Well,
No,
if
I
you think I'm going to do that, you've got another think coming. Too many
Yeah.
thinks. Too many
No, I
thinks.
thought it was
I
think.
think at 12:15, is it thing or think? I think it's thing.
Can I just say I've wanted this to be
You
a
didn't think
texting
it
for
was
about
Owen
5
Smith.
years.
Welcome back, Al.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, you know, we were having some sort of debate.
Can I say, for my whole life, I've said, on the occasions I've said it, which is not often nowadays, they've got another thing coming.
Yes.
With a G.
I've always said that.
And I've said...
You've always got another think coming, and you, Al.
Al has
I
said...
think my mum has always said think, as in there's another thought on its way because
Yeah.
you're about to change your mind.
It works. I just never even...
And I've
Well,
always
don't
thought...
patronise us and tell us it works. We know it works because it's right.
In recent years, I've thought, is my mum wrong? And it's actually another thing coming.
Well, our
So I'm now curious.
producer had a fabulous education, thinks it's thing.
Expensive.
Well, I had a not a bad education, and I think it's think.
Well, I had a
So big
lousy
wow.
education.
Oh,
But, you know, I've bounced back.
You've made up for it. Would you like to hear what our readers think?
Yes.
606, that's Teresa from Cornwall, says think.
Another think coming, okay.
470 says think.
Now, don't just read out the ones who think think.
068, it's definitely thing. Well, that's the phrase I've been using all my talking days. That's James in Finchley.
Maybe.
can I
It's one
just
of
say
those-
respect to all my talking days? I like that.
No,
And-
that's true.
484, long-time reader, first-time messaging. I think Frank has it right. But I find that a lot of English folks say think at the end of the word everything, so I could be wrong. That's Brian from Glasgow.
They say everything. Oh, this is getting a bit...
Well,
What about
actually-
people who say chimbly instead of chimney? Do you know
Who says that?
That's a common thing, chimbly. Maybe it's a Birmingham thing.
That
I've
sounds
never
strange.
heard that in
And
my life.
Skellington.
Oh, no. That's that's adults deliberately infantilising
No, I don't
themselves.
think it
I
is.
don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not having it.
Is that adults deliberately infantilising themselves? Is that a bit hollybobs as well?
Yeah, milk bottle. Oh, come on.
Ickle.
Oh, no, Mel.
Oh,
Oh,
that stuff.
ickle.
No, I
It's
work,
making me feel sick, actually.
I
Ickle
work
and
with
hollybobs.
I work with a sound man. You know what? You have to stop recording if an aeroplane goes over.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's obviously
Yeah.
it's that. So he'd say, "Oh, can't you just stop a minute? There's an airy plane." He always used to say. I mean, come on!
Hospital. Oh.
Do
Okay.
people say hospital?
Yes.
See, that's hardly an appropriate time to be talking about. To go over to someone crumpled in a gutter and say, "You need to get this man to a hospital."
They can't help it, these people. The need to be found endearing. Okay.
Well, it's not working, apparently. If they think that's endearing, they've got another thing coming.
Helen from Bristol, I think, has the last word.
Okay.
She says, it's think. As in, you're going to have to think again, make another plan, etc. If you think it's thing, you've got another think coming.
Yes.
There we go.
That's my son on the trombone.
We've had votes for both, but I would say think.
I think...
I
I
thought
agree.
you said that was the last
Think.
word. There's people at home saying, "Shut up about this."
No, I think is the one.
Well, they're not actually. They're listening to Nigel Farage on LBC.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This reminds me, when we were in France, I've just been in France, I don't know if I've mentioned it.
For 4 weeks.
I thought, I'd tell you what, they love bread. I mean, that's not what this reminded me of.
Love a bit of pan.
Well,
Pan's people, they call them.
funny
the
you should
French.
say pan, because
They love the carbs, don't they?
We've been ordering une baguette. I've probably eaten as much bread in the last 31 days as I did in the previous 2 years, and I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, it's feminine,
I
is it?
I don't eat much
Bread's
bread.
feminine, I never knew
Is
that.
it? Bread's feminine.
Well, you've just said that's feminine.
Oh,
You
that doesn't
wouldn't
mean I'm
think
right.
so, would you? Those French sticks. You'd think,
I don't think it's that feminine.
no, you'd think they'd admit those masculine, surely.
But I've been ordering
The bagel.
A baguette.
I'm with them.
No, bread's masculine. Le pain. Okay.
No, maybe pan's masculine and
Okay.
baguette's feminine.
Oh, okay.
Pan's masculine. I didn't like that dance troupe.
But then on the last day that I was there, I thought, why don't we get a pan? Because it's more bread and less jaggedy crust.
Okay.
That's what a baguette is, isn't it? It's a lot of crust.
Yeah, I'm
More
not
jaggedy
that
crust.
far.
Why don't you like it? Do you not like a baguette?
It's all right.
It's harder on the teeth as we age,
It is
isn't it?
like
I like an osherette.
I like a Skinnerette.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Do you like
That's-
flannelette?
flannelette.
Do you remember
A lot of
flannelette?
toweling.
I know, there's a lot of that this
Very
morning.
fabric-based show today.
It is. I'm sorry if I've let anyone down. I'm going on to Terry Toweling any moment. He was a good player.
He's talking about his bread, his French bread.
Hold on, but I'm gonna have to. We can
We'll
come back.
to.
It'll keep the bread,
Oh, not for long in France.
but I think you have to
I'd
put it in
say
a
by about-
plastic bag, not a paper
By
one.
about 4
yeah.
o'clock, it's gone.
Yeah, and also
Very
how
few
often-
preservatives in there.
Oh,
but
that's a good sign, though,
Great
Al.
sign, it's a
Pain
great
au
sign.
chocolat.
You know when you
Oh,
buy
I
a
love
French
that.
stick, and
Yes.
I've bought 4 in my life. What really annoys me that the bag is not long enough for the whole French stick.
So it always
That annoys
emerges.
Really annoys me.
I like that. It's like they're saying, show off your bread. Show your
Yeah.
neighbours that you've bought our bread. I like
Wow.
that.
It's
like
the same
saving on
principle
paper.
as the Calippo lolly.
Save on paper.
Yeah,
Would you not say?
but I'm not keen on that.
Oh, God. You don't like anything emerging.
I don't want my bread in a sort of pop sock. Get a longer bag. That's my motto.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter, Cumberland Sausage Frank on the radio. And or Tadpole doing yoga.
Yeah.
At is the other word for it.
Oh.
At Frank on the radio. And you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
I'm enjoying listening to Al's French tales.
We were briefly
Bread-based
discussing
French
them.
tales. Yeah, but can I just break off a bit of your baguette?
Yes.
Just to tell you that Sid has tweeted us with photographic proof of whether it's think or thing coming, which we've been debating all show. Is it you've got another think coming, you've got another thing coming?
Yes.
And he has tweeted us a photograph of a Judas Priest album cover, I believe it is, with the words, "You've got another thing coming."
Yes.
I mean, he might have got that from a website called www.errorsonalbumcovers.com.
He might have. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily go to heavy metal for my linguistic advice.
Exactly.
I was asking, we were talking about this.
What if you went to Slade on how to spell?
Yeah.
That would be a
And
problem.
also, Judas Priest Birminghamites, aren't they? So,
Are they?
why everyone heavy metal are Birmingham?
I suppose, if not geographically, at least spiritually.
Yeah.
If I can drag the chat back to
Sorry, the baguette.
Francais,
Yeah.
we've had an email from Brett entitled Baguette.
From Brecht.
No. Yeah, what's a German eating French bread for?
Is it Re-Theatre of Alienation?
No.
I think he's saying that he's enjoying the radio of alienation by talking about thing and think for an hour and a quarter.
Our show is so Brechtian.
It is.
Yeah, that's part of its problem. And you know, kudos.
Yeah.
Brett has emailed, bought baguette from local supermarket and checkout lady bent it in half without asking me, stuffed it in carrier bag, and that was that.
No.
Well, it's only a baguette. It's
No, I
not
think
like...
Bent it in half.
I think that wonderfully illustrates the difference between how we see bread as not very serious and the French see it as so serious they cannot contain it in a paper bag. They have to show it off.
Well, I mean...
Frank, you just said it's only bread. If someone did that with a flake, would you say that?
Oh,
No, but it's not bendable, is it, a flake?
Well, nor is a bread.
Of course, bread will bend.
no,
Well,
it
clearly not. It
snaps.
broke in two.
I don't
It
see
must have snapped.
any credit in taking bread seriously. I mean,
They take it
I have
seriously,
never
the
eaten.
French.
I have never eaten a pain au chocolat without at first doing a pig snout impression.
Well,
it's
aren't
got
you
to be
fun
done.
to be around?
Yeah, I am.
I've eaten about 30
And I've
of them in the
never
last
had
31 days.
I've never had Savoy chips in a...
Well, you can put
Anyway.
a full stop on the end of that
Yeah,
sentence for me.
we'll just leave that there anyway.
Al,
But the
don't...
French, we need to discuss the... What is it with them and the pharmacies? Every square has got 3 pharmacies. No tannin salons or Ladbrokes or, like... You know,
You're
it's
right.
totally different over there. How ill are those people that they have a pharmacy
It's
everywhere?
a good point. There's often is a
obsessed with the
pharmacy.
They're obsessed with the pharmacy. And dogs, they love their dogs,
No.
but they will not pick up their poo.
I
They
find
just
the
won't.
French dog slightly odd.
They won't pick up their poo. I've got a theory that they've got the same population about as the UK, but twice the landmass. I think they're thinking, we'll just walk around it.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Maybe.
they think.
Keep you fitter in a way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, we visited
Is
whilst
that, I
we were...
didn't know that they didn't pick up dog
Oh.
poo, the French.
Oh, we walked around a lot of dog poo.
Did you?
Ah.
But that's, hey, it's their thing. We visited some friends of ours who were also in France at the same time as we were, and...
Were you? Can I ask a question? Were you in a caravan?
no,
Did you just say we?
I did say we, yeah.
Oh, he's picked up the lingo, Frank.
yeah, that's about as much as I've got, to be honest. But yeah, we were
It's in a
in,
caravan.
Yeah.
we were in houses.
vacances.
We were in some tents, I suppose you'd call them.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, not
So it's a
quite
bit
proper
sort of
tents. but
bypass protesters,
a
the
mixture.
accommodation.
No, it was more like Euro campy type things.
I get it.
I've become one of those guys that's got a GB sticker and a top box on his car.
Have you?
That's what I've become.
Why do people have those stickers?
Because if you're... allow me to just step into my role as motoring correspondent
Oh, there's something
momentarily.
else I wanted to ask you about mode, but we'll come to that later.
Okay.
If your licence plate doesn't have GB on it, you put GB sticker on there. I think it
But
might be
why?
an
Is
that
EU
right?
thing, much to the chagrin of Farage and co.
But why? No, it's been around when I was a kid that they had it.
Well, a lot of cars now have GB on the licence plate, and so you don't need to
Used
put
to
your
have
sticker on.
in Look and Learn. They used to have, which is like a comic for kids who had aspirations. They used to be a load of those car stickers, and you had to say
Which country?
because
Fun.
it would have NL, for example.
Netherlands.
Oh.
Yeah, but no one said Netherlands then. No one
Yes,
said Netherlands.
I remember that was a
long
bit of a game, guessing them.
It was all-
Oh,
yeah,
we've
it
been
was.
countries,
playing
yeah.
that.
It
Playing
was a
that.
fun game.
We've been playing that
Maybe
a lot.
I'll do that with Boz. Those Heads and Tails went so well. That could be next.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What were we doing? We were just
We're
destroying
on
someone's
Francais.
reputation off
We're
air,
on
but-
Francais. Oh,
Oh,
on
yeah.
air. We're on
On air,
Francais.
yes.
And we went to visit a family that we know from Manchester, and they were in France in a nice big house.
Times have
And
changed.
so we spent...
What do you
know,
mean?
Families from Manchester didn't used to have big houses in France. Used to
No, they
Why
haven't
do you
got
sound
it.
sad about
They
it?
haven't got it. They'd rented it. You know, holidays.
You know when people used to go to Blackpool and stuff like that? That's where people from Manchester went. It's lovely.
I'm going to send them an email saying, Frank says, from now on, could you holiday in Blackpool? Because he's resistant to this change
Know your place.
I mean, it
in
may-
British life.
Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. I tell you, I had a thought this, and it is a bit Brexit this, but this week
Oh, here we go.
I did think. I hate to say it, but I'm going to be honest. I did think at one point, I was watching Match of the Day and I thought, I wish there was more British players in the Premier League. I used to like it when they used to say this bloke's from Preston and stuff like that. I like that sort of grim domesticity. It's all gone very
You're
glamorous.
right. That's
Anyway,
a good,
watch
that's
some
a good
lower league
solution to
football.
that. Maybe we should build a wall. Apparently that's all the rage.
I think just watch some lower league football and you'll
yeah,
find
but
that.
surely we'd have to bring people in from other countries to build the wall.
Yeah, but Frank, we're not good enough, are we, to just play football now? Just up.
Well, we could play at a lesser standard.
Oh, do you think?
There's something nice about people from Dudley being in the Premier... Well, there wasn't a Premier League. Anyway, I am sounding like an old fascista.
So
well,
it's been
we
brought
know
to
you're
my
not,
attention.
though. So it's fine.
I'll tell you something that surprised me when we were visiting this family. It was brought to my attention that I overuse a particular word, and I would not guess that I was guilty of this.
Is this something you can say on the radio?
It is,
Oh,
very
okay.
much so.
God.
Apparently, I say awesome a lot.
Do you?
Yeah!
I don't think
Do
I've
you?
ever heard you, A,
Apparently
use
I
it,
do.
or B, ever adopt a mood which would make it appropriate.
Well, I think it might have been that I was speaking to juniors and trying to sound enthusiastic. I think there might have been a little bit of
Yes.
the
So in what
upbeat
context
DJ in me.
would you say it?
And, well, things like, oh, awesome, you're doing that, great, good for you,
Would
you know, that
you?
kind
Yes.
of thing. I think that might...
If somebody had said
Very
to
on
me,
you word.
give me some
Honestly.
names that Alan Cochrane wouldn't use in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Awesome might have been the first one.
I'm surprised too, but I'm loath to get rid of it because I think it might be one of the few flashes of upbeat in my semantic field. as
Yeah.
the,
No,
um,
exactly.
as the
I would
language.
hold on to it, certainly.
You think so? You think I should keep
Well, I
awesome?
don't know. You've got to be careful with the word awesome, haven't you?
I mean, I didn't mean it to mean
Well, because
giving of
sometimes...
awe. It wasn't
Well,
like
this is what I mean, though,
Yeah.
is that it is overused.
it is.
People will say, oh, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock, awesome. Well, it's not really awesome, is it?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually fill you with awe that you're
No.
going to see them at 10 o'clock.
You're absolutely right. But it is one of my few upbeat bits of vocabulary, so maybe I should just accept that trade.
Yeah, I think also it's one of those words that almost doesn't mean anything anymore. It's,
Yes.
it's a bit
Awesome.
like...
So
It's a
I
bit
can carry
like...
on using it.
It's like...
Awesome.
It's a bit like that. You know that? It's just that, isn't it? It's just a sound. The people, you know, people sometimes think, oh, I'll just make a sound. I don't have anything to say.
Although
Yeah.
you do
Yes.
clear your throat occasionally and we go, have you got something to say?
Yeah.
I clear my
Difficult,
throat
isn't
kind of
it?
lot. Once you start thinking about clearing your throat, you can't do anything else.
True enough. But it's...
So you've been... I say beautiful too much, I think.
Oh, you can never say that too much.
No, I do.
Not in my presence.
I think it's because I find things beautiful. I mean, things that... not things often that other people find beautiful. But... Like, sometimes people can make a fool of themselves on a chat show or something, and there's something beautiful about it because it's so human and frail, and
Yes.
and I do find myself saying it a lot.
I think that's a good word to overuse.
You also use get in a lot, don't you?
I don't use
Oh,
that a lot.
you do.
That's 2 words.
You do.
I don't use get in a
Definitely
lot.
do get in.
I say extraordinary
You do.
as a sign of disapproval.
And sure.
Oh, yes, you do say extraordinary.
No, but I use sure in an odd way. So, for example, Sarah on the show will say, would you like a cup of tea, Emily? And I'll go, sure.
Yeah,
As
you
if
do.
I'm doing the favour.
No, but I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's awesome.
You use a word
I
that
think
I
it's
don't know
beautiful.
anybody else that uses
Which
it.
is what?
You use the word respectamundo, which I don't think anybody else says, to be
I
honest. I
think-
think that's just you.
Well, I think Jimmy Young,
Respect.
the
Which, can I just say, he used when we revealed that Slaven Bilic liked a cigarette.
Yeah.
He said, respectamundo.
yeah. Well, if I find that Jeremy Corbyn does indeed roll his own, I shall be saying it once more.
Yeah.
Especially if he's got an ornate back eating like like an ex-con. Oh, that'd be brilliant. But we'll find out.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Yeah, well, we were talking... Yeah, there was a thing, wasn't there, about hated words, or... I was
Oh, no,
quite surprised by this.
I know what that OED, so they're coming up with they're on a global hunt, Frank, for the worst
The Oxford
words.
English Dictionary.
Yes. For the most disliked words. And this is an internet... Well, it's global.
I go to Judas Priest before I go to the OED.
Me too. This makes the most sense. Why wouldn't you?
So, yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon, the hated word, isn't it?
Their most
no.
hated English word. And so there are, because it's global, obviously there are people... I mean, I think in Spain, they've said they don't like the English word hello.
Oh. Because they say hola.
Hola.
It
yeah.
probably sounds like an anagram.
Said that a couple of times at the start of my French trip and then
Did you?
realised I'm in the wrong place for hola. went back to bonjour.
A lot of them, a lot of them speak Spanish as well. You'll probably be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
The most...
Not me, though.
The most hated English word so far in England is moist.
That's weird, isn't it? I thought moist is quite a nice word.
Also comes up on people's favourite word list, so, you know, we're all different.
It's
aren't
quite Mary Berry, isn't it? I associate it with cake, but that's me.
we? Yeah,
Okay.
soggy
And-
bottoms and all
yes.
that stuff, yeah.
I think there are far worse offenders than that. I don't mind moist. I've heard-
Awesome. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if awesome is on the
worse.
hated list.
Yes, I think it would. Far worse than moist, surely, is slacks. One of my worst.
Slacks.
Oh,
For trousers, you know.
don't say it.
Slacks.
It's so Sunday Express supplement trousers in the back, isn't it?
But I think that's why I like it, I think. Yeah, a nice pair of slacks.
Oh, don't. It makes me ill.
I should put it in my mind now.
It's an absolute deal breaker.
I'll tell you what I've always really hated. Ginormous.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, no,
Ginormous.
Oh, no. I really hate it.
You don't
When
like
people
it?
say it, I think they're trying to be a bit funny. They
Yeah.
think I'll collar
Yes.
this sentence up a bit. I'll say ginormous, and then he'll think, actually, it's quite a funny bloke, this bloke.
Yeah.
I won't be thinking that.
Yeah.
I know that.
I prefer ickle to ginormous.
Do you?
No, not at all.
I've got to say, I went out with someone who used to say, like, you know, do that baby talk thing. It's difficult.
You sure you want to reveal any more
Well, what
than that?
is it?
You know, when they start going, oh, my baby, my little...
Oh, I thought
You
were
know
gonna say-
Frank's worst
I was
thing?
like
That's an ickle.
Shep with his bowl. And someone touch our dog's bowl and he'd just go, grrr, grrr. I was like that. Oh, he's my little baby. Grrr. Didn't last long.
Yeah, I don't like. I tell you what I don't like are those funny words that you don't hear that often, obviously, but in this country. But those funny words associated with American elections, I don't like them. I think they're made up.
Caucus.
Caucus. It sounds
Primary.
like cactus gone wrong.
Yeah. I don't
mind
It sounds
caucus.
like a foot. Oh no, I don't like caucus. Oh, what about gubernatorial?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one.
That's quite Germanic as well, isn't it?
Oh, I
Sort
don't
of-
like that.
See, I love those big, long German compound words.
Like what?
Like, you know, Obergruppenführer,
Oh,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Just off the
Yeah,
top
I
of my, just off the top of my head.
That was impressive, Frank.
Yeah, when they'll put together about 5 bits into one long... Well, oh, that's great. We should do more of that, I think.
Someone's got
What
to
have we got? Jedwood. I mean, it's not much of an effort, is it?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Oh, someone called Ross has just texted in and referred to me as your assistant.
Oh, lovely.
Very 1974 generation came.
You've got that sort of spectacles.
I
on
quite
there.
like it.
Take a letter, Miss D.
I'm happy with it. So we've also had communication from 999,
Wow.
who
Hello
says,
there.
not for the first time in my life,
Yeah.
things that the lovely team say a lot.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Emily, can I just say,
Okay.
but not sure if I should put a question mark after that. I think it's more of a statement.
Yeah, right.
Frank's is, or in my drinking days.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's true.
And Al appears to be associated with the word wow.
Oh, I just said it as well.
Yeah. There you
just-
go.
Again, I don't
Just
think of him as a
literally-
wow or an awesome person.
Just literally said a wow.
He does say it.
I'll tell you a word. I don't know if this is a word or if it's 2 words, but one thing that has become such a personal thing now is I sort of dismiss a person completely if they say, is if I say, oh, I've got a bit of a throat or some, oh, a bit of, have you got any Lemsips? And they'll go, it'll be a woman, I've got to tell you. And just, oh, man flu. Oh, come on. Come on.
What do you object to it?
Well, I don't think Emily Davison jumped onto the king's horse so that women could be disparaging about men's hypochondria or whatever. We should things
I
about
don't
equality.
object-
We should all be working together.
I don't object to it on those grounds, political grounds. I object to it on the account of because it's a little bit basic.
Yeah.
Is why I
It's
don't
just-
like it.
It's the suggestion, isn't it? Obviously, that
Obs.
men make an enormous fuss, but women just get on with it.
But it's lazy stereotyping in the keep calm and drink prosecco
man.
and cupcakes sort of people.
I mean, if I went into the same place, the same person, and said, my pig's not very well, would they go, no, swine flu? It's a... Oh, please stop. I'm begging you.
Where do we stand on obs? I think I say obs quite a lot.
I'm not
Totes.
fine with that.
Totes you're fine with?
I'll tell you what else I don't like. Sado.
Sado.
People say he's a sado. Yeah.
Do they?
I hate that.
You're in a time machine.
I hate
Sado.
it. Well, they still
You
say it to
plonker,
me.
Rodney.
Local urchins still shouting at me. Sometimes I wish I hadn't bought that penny farthing.
I'm more 70s yobbos shouted at me. 974 has said, awesome is a bit old-fashioned for children nowadays, Alan.
Oh.
My 9-year-old and friends go with sick and epic. That's from Howard,
Oh.
from the Halifax ads.
And
They go with sick. Man flu.
360 has texted, as a child we were told GB on a car stood for Gone Abroad. Gone Abroad.
Oh, okay, it's good.
That's from Rosie. I like that. And then somebody else, to swim against the tide, has said the GB on the cars is nothing to do with the EU. It's to do with the UN, apparently.
Who is
I
it?
said it was something to
Well,
do
we've
with
had someone else text
Did you?
us to object to us being rude about Nigel Farage because he was successful. He got the result his party was set up for. He's a hero.
No, he did do that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. He did. He did that. Best car. If you had a best car sticker of all time, there's only one possible winner, isn't there?
My
Yeah.
other car is a Porsche.
That's the only possible winner. It's so.
What is it?
So far. My other car's a Porsche. It's so far ahead of the field. That one in the funny car stickers.
Yeah.
I mean, it wipes
It's
the
very
floor.
good.
It is the Usain Bolt of the comedy car stickers.
Oh, I want to talk about him.
Wait.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You two all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
You mentioned Usain Bolt, Emily Dean. You mentioned Usain Bolt.
I
You want to
love.
talk about him finding sorry the hardest word?
Let's just say that while the Cockerel's been away, the Bolt's been playing.
Well, he's been running, hasn't he? He's done well.
I think you
And now
might
he's allowed
go
some
so
leisure
far
time.
as to call him something of a...
Legend!
Very good.
He has been... He's been legendary in his partying, hasn't he?
I'd go so far as to say he's gone absolutely crazy pants. I mean, there's been no stopping him.
Apparently.
Yeah, we don't know, do we?
Well, we don't.
We don't know
I
what
mean, there's-
goes on
there's some
in that.
photographic evidence.
Well, there's photographic. He took like 6 women back to his hotel room.
8.
Okay.
Hang on, you've got 2 different nights there.
No, there's 8 and 5.
Maybe he's a Tupperware representative,
Maybe.
and he's holding parties too.
He skipped the closing ceremony. We know that much.
Did he?
Yes. He decided
That's not a euphemism, is it?
no.
Okay.
And then he was
Oh, he
pictured
never
in a
said thank you.
nightclub.
Yeah, he just ran out.
I bet he was there at the opening ceremony. Oh
The
dear.
closing ceremony, or as I like to call it, aftercare. I'll call you, is what the
Yeah.
closing ceremony is. No, he was photographed in the Olympic accommodation with a lady called J.D. Duarte. And what I liked about this was that she uploaded some selfies of them onto her Instagram. I'm looking at the young
so.
people for confirmation. And what was interesting was that you could see the Olympic accommodation. She was on a single bed with the Olympic duvet and the angle poise lamp over her. So he could have gone to a hotel.
Was she the one who was the gangster's mole?
Yeah.
Drugs kingpin girlfriend.
I mean, I
Yeah.
love that. Now, that's a word I love. Kingpin.
Yeah, drugs kingpin.
That is. You don't hear that enough. And she went out with a drugs kingpin. Oh, marvellous.
Well, to be fair, Bolty, he knows how to make a quick getaway.
Well,
if
that-
needs be.
That
Part
is
of his
true.
shtick.
It's not going to be a problem.
No, I've heard that. Yeah, he's a, but he might just like the company of women. We don't know what goes on in his hotel room, do we?
Monopoly.
Oh,
you think
for
they're
goodness
just like...
sake.
Do you think that was what happened?
You
Like
sound-
8 went back and he was like, this is too many for backgammon. Come on.
Do you know what Frank sounds like one of his representatives who said he's a talkative and lively man, and
Well,
that's
he
what
is that.
people do sometimes.
He certainly is.
Just invite people back if the
lively.
party is finished.
He twerked, didn't he?
Yes.
Did he?
He did. He twerked with a young woman. You know that one that was a sort of 2-person conga. He did one
Well,
of those. I wonder if she got Bolt up right.
Good point.
J.D. Duarte, the
Yeah.
girlfriend of the drugs...
The mole.
Drugs kingpin, who I believe is no longer with us.
Oh, really?
The drugs kingpin.
I thought with his family.
Yes.
Well, they are. We're talking about like...
But J.D. Duarte, she claimed And you're right, we should say claimed, Frank, because we don't know what went on.
No.
However, according to her, she says she didn't recognise him at first.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay. Could have happened, I suppose.
Okay. I didn't even know he played football. It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't believe it, he was a footballer. Anyway, she said she didn't know. And so what he did to prove who he was, his identity, as a form of ID, he apparently lifted up his shirt and showed his 8-pack.
Well, that doesn't prove his identity, does he?
No, and then he did the lightning bolt. she
Oh,
claimed.
okay.
I mean, that's as good as a fingerprint, isn't it? If you can
Yeah.
stand like that. Like, I mean, that is definitely
I like
him.
how indiscreet he is on the seduction front.
He's extremely
he just
indiscreet.
does the lightning bolt.
No, but at least he's up front, isn't he, about why they're going to be with... Although, to be honest, he's a handsome man in great shape.
Yes.
And as they say, I wouldn't say he's a laugh a minute, but he's a smile.
Yeah, but what about when she had to get the bus back to the Olympic Village with him?
Did she?
He didn't even stump up for a driver.
Yeah, she needs
But
Uber
that's-
or a taxi.
No, that's all right. And one of the women are standing outside the hotel room also doing the lightning bolt. Now, that is someone who's seen him do it and thought, I'm having that.
Yeah.
But that was the worst thing. It's like, if you had I'm sure this wouldn't happen, but if you had a one-night stand with Bernie Clifton, don't be photographed leaving the hotel room on an ostrich. That's his thing.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
He gave her €100 for the taxi.
Who did?
Usain Bolt.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Seems generous, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
In
Lovely. It'll turn up for the books, that one.
in London.
No, in Rio.
Oh. He gave €1
Yeah.
to spend on the taxi.
Well, I don't know. That's what
Rio.
apparently.
I mean, I'm no currency trader, but
Well, that's what he had on him.
You're not a currency trader?
I'm not a currency trader.
Oh, I thought you
for avoidance of doubt.
smelt of the bureau.
I thought that was nice, though. The taxi's a nice touch, bit of aftercare.
Oh, that is nice.
They tend to keep quiet when you do that. Oh.
I mean, I don't think he comes out of this badly.
I
does he?
don't.
We don't know what went on
You're
in
not
the...
his girlfriend, are you? So, he's got a girlfriend.
Well, yeah, actually,
Well, I think-
I am his girlfriend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I am on sea voyages.
Cassie
That's
Bennett?
our arrangement.
On sea voyages.
Yeah, on long sea voyages. I'm what they call his sea wife.
In a way,
Oh,
we're
nice.
all his girlfriends.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of love to give.
Would you have, if you'd met him and he'd said, do you want to come back for a party, would you have gone?
Well, as we all know, I think, regular readers will know I was given a similar proposition by Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
So it's not the first sportsman-related proposition.
But I don't think you were doing the radio show then, were you?
No. What does that mean?
Well, I think...
Are you suggesting it's some
I
sort
would
of
like
currency?
to think. I'd like to think, for the benefit of the radio show,
Yeah.
if Usain
yeah.
Bolt said, "You want to come back to my hotel?" You'd have gone just for material.
Yeah.
Of course I would have. I would have recorded the
I'd have
entire
gone.
thing for you, a special podcast.
I'd have gone happily.
I would have gone. I think when behaviour's on that scale, I'm going to call it behaviour because we don't know if he's cheated, I think it's almost okay. Because it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an epidemic. It's not like a sleazy little, or one
No,
night
it's
here,
not
one night here.
underhand. It's
No,
great
it's
that
not
he's
underhand. That's what I like
they're all
about him.
photographed. He's
Yeah.
completely upfront about it.
He's fine.
Yes.
I mean, the only way he could lie his way out of this is to say it's a lookalike. It's a Usain Bolt lookalike with an Olympic bedspread.
Well, the girlfriend hasn't said much, Cassie Bennett. I know all the players in this.
Yeah.
She said she liked a tweet or an Instagram post which said, when you girlish Selfridges and you cheat with Primark. There you
But
go.
we all cheat with Primark now and again. I
course.
don't mean in this way. I mean literally.
Yeah.
I bought a T-shirt, a blue T-shirt with "chillin" on it,
Oh, yeah.
and I thought it's from Primark. It'll fall apart. I'm wearing it 3 years later, and I thought it wouldn't last. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit like playing roulette. Occasionally, you lift something out of Primark, which is durable stuff.
And who knew it was a keeper?
I love that T-shirt.
Yes.
It's a goodie. So
Chilling T-shirt.
and that can be the case, you're on the road and these women are coming and going, and then suddenly there's a little sparkle.
A little
and,
rough diamond in
there. It's all lovely. So who knows where Usain will find love?
Usain, even.
Where do you call him?
Usain.
What did
Where?
I call him?
Hussein.
What's the same thing? It's the same thing. Anyway, I'd take a picture if I went to a hotel with him.
Would you?
Yeah. I'd make sure I'd shot my bolt. So, anyway, that's enough of that. Thank you so much for listening, by the way, if there's anyone still out there after the thing and think section. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.